The recent US-Venezuela conflict escalated dramatically with a United States military operation captured Venezuelan President Nicholas Maduro and his wife on January 3rd, charging them of drug trafficking, leading to their arraignment in New York, Brooklyn, New York. This followed months of increased US pressure, including military buildup, sanctions, seizing oil tankers, deadly strikes on suspected drug boats, justified by US as combating narco-terrorism linked to Maduro's government. To Venezuela calls it actions of piracy, and conflict stems from deep-rooted issues like oil, sanctions, and political instability. So the key events are US Special Forces, supported by aerial strikes, captured President Maduro and his wife in Caracas, in the capital city of Venezuela. They also indicted the US unsealed drug trafficking charges against them, leading to their transfer to New York, where Maduro pleaded not guilty, saying he is the president of Venezuela and he has been kidnapped by US military. US control claims that President Trump stated that he would run the country. I'll show him a video. During a transition, though official clarified that this meant enforcing an oil quarantine.
So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
And influencing policies, not direct governance. So it is still evolving, the situation. Tensions rose with a major US military department attacked on dozens of drug boats, resulting in numerous deaths and seizure of Venezuelan oil tankers. Now, regarding Venezuela, it has world's largest oil reserves. They in fact have more oil in the underground than whole of Middle East. The facts are Venezuela holds about 303 billion barrels of oil, which is the largest in the world. That equals 17% of global reserves. This reserve exceeds even more than Saudi Arabia's reserve. The scale of this much of oil actually could power the reshape this global energy market. But there is a catch, that it's not going to be very easy for the US companies to actually drill the oil from the ground, because the Venezuelan oil is very heavy crude. It's not light crude like in the Middle East. So it's hard to extract and very expensive to process this kind of like heavy crude oil. So only few countries, they can handle this kind of like, the process to drill the oil and get it out of the ground. And United States has this capacity. And in fact, the amount of oil production in Venezuela, since Venezuelan government they took the control publicly and kicked out all these American companies back in early 2007, that oil production has come down significantly instead of increasing. Venezuela, once there was a major oil producer, they used to produce about 3.5 billion barrels per day. As of today, the export sits below 1 billion barrel, and this oil did not disappear. The system just like collapsed, and most of the oil, it is actually like exported to Asia, and China is one of the major consumer of Venezuelan oil. So what really went wrong? Venezuela nationalized and pushed out foreign capital out. This Venezuelan oil company, PDVSA, lost technical capacity over the time. So the oil infrastructure, it became aged and started failing. And also the sanctions against Venezuela by other countries, they tightened the pressure, and they are not able to get the appropriate equipments and do not sell the oil in the open market. So Nicolas Maduro's capture marked a sudden political shift. Donald Trump said that the oil companies are ready to enter. They would invest billions of dollars, and they aim to repair damaged oil infrastructure and restart production. But it's not going to be very easy for the US company to get in there and start drilling oil. So we cannot expect that oil prices suddenly fall, or like the US is going to get oil from Venezuela, bring into United States. Although some companies like Chevron and other drilling companies, they have a lot of business, used to have business in Venezuela, and the stocks today in the New York Stock Exchange, Chevron, one of the companies, their stock bounced about 5%, and other companies like Halliburton, Schlumberger, Marathon Petroleum, MPC, all these oil companies, it has spiked up today with the prospect that they will get more and more business from the U.S. government the oil companies will get contracts in Venezuela, and they will be more like profitable. Who stands to gain from this Venezuelan oil? So Chevron already operates in Venezuela and ships about 150,000 barrel of oil every day. Exxon and ConocoPhillips are also watching closely. Conoco is owned more than $10 billion. Returning may be the only path to recover it. So they already have a lot of their assets actually were seized. So they must go inside Venezuela if they want to recover their lost assets. So why does this Venezuelan oil matters to Washington? The United States seeks emergency security. Its refineries rely heavily on crude oil. Oil also provides geopolitical leverage. Control over oil flows means control over pressure. And also, they want China not to get this huge reserve of oil from Venezuela. China imports about 500 billion barrels of oil from Venezuela. So, United States want to influence with this pressure by grabbing this oil from Venezuela. Basically, at the end of it, oil, capital, and power. So Venezuela holds the oil, the US holds the power, and the power is decided who moves first. So for now, United States has made the first move, and the president of Venezuela, Maduro, he has been captured, and most likely, if he's indicted or if he's to be guilty, he might spend rest of his life in jail. But the thing is, what's going to be next? Is it the United States is going to be bent upon bending this regime change, or they're just going to influence the policy and indirectly control Venezuela, rather than directly voted with the prospect that they will not get inside external wars, and basically American boots won't be involved in overseas operations. Or in Venezuela, it's not going to be very easy for him politically. If you like this video, please do subscribe, and I'll keep you updated regarding this situation in Venezuela. Thank you and have a nice day.